This is perhaps the hardest product that I've ever been given to review. I'll explain why in a moment. GameMasters here, and I've been told that I have a unique view and take when I look at something to review. This Friend or Foe Folio from Grin Press, found over on DriveThruRPG.com. Guys, seriously, it's chock full of NPCs, ones that can be played as allies to the party, or as the title suggests, enemies. But when I started to read through it, I saw a third option, kind of a third way to use it. The NPCs in here are given so much detail. We get their name, a decent amount of background, what drives them, and in a lot of instances even mentionings of their childhood and what shaped them into what they are now. We are also provided a specific background for each, detailing their main personality trait, what governs their behavior, their ideal, the beliefs that drive them, their bond, the binding force that they'll choose to go after with all other decisions coming in secondary, and of course their flaw, an element that could potentially hinder them. They also have quest hooks. Again, this is a book of two possible potential options, friends to the party or, well, foes. And the quest hooks are where that difference can be seen, as well as in the NPC's alignment. But I also mentioned that I saw this book as having a third option. With so much detail having been provided, seriously, all the NPCs in here could all very easily be used as pre-generated characters. Everything that you need is included to use them as exactly that, even down to the equipment. And with the provided CR rating, it would not be difficult at all to derive a starting level as well. I also mentioned that this is perhaps the hardest product that I've ever been given to review. Simply put, you have no clue how bad I want to flip through this and do a page-by-page review of it and reveal every NPC in here. And this is going to be hard for me to not do that. This is going to be a major, major challenge. But I'm going to do my best to not give in to temptation here. So let's frame up just a few. I promise I won't spoil the entire book, though it's going to be really difficult for me to not do that. On the contents page, all of the NPCs are broken down into CR rating, and to find them quickly, they're all listed in the following pages by alphabetic order based on their first name. Of course, if you're using the PDF version, they're all hyperlinked, so you can navigate to them that way too. I just prefer a physical print, and remind me to tell you all a little bit about that towards the end of this video. So let's check out the first one, Andrea Neidhart. Right off the bat, we see that she is a performer. And as I was talking about earlier, this paragraph describes a bit of her childhood. And we learn that she has a knack for stealing from her audience. Rather, her associates do while she performs. Andrea lacks moral judgment and has an almost magic wit and charm about her, convinced that some people actually want to be conned. She's a con artist with a personality trait of, I take things from people that they wanted to lose anyway. Her ideal is looking at the payout and weighing that against the effort, reward, and overall success. Her bond is actually quite simple. She won't enter into a con if she cannot figure out how to make it work. Her flaw, however, is that she is overconfident in her ability to pull off a con. Now, before we cover her quest hooks, I want to examine her stat block. If you haven't guessed it, she's neutral evil, and she's an elf. She has an armor class of 13, 9d8 hit points, her speed is 30 feet. She has a strength of 12, a dexterity of 16, constitution is 11, intelligence is 14, wisdom is 11, and her charisma is 15. She has 4 specific skills: deception, insight, performance, and sleight of hand. She has a challenge rating of 1. She has an ability called Adept Pickpocket. If she rolls a 1 on a d20 for a dex check for sleight of hand, she can reroll. Because she is an elf, she also has Fey ancestry. She has advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put her to sleep. When she has to attack, she uses a dagger, and it might be magical, as it can also deal poison damage. Quest hook 1 for Andrea is Confident Woman. The party meets her over a long night of drinking, and in the right conditions, Andrea is going to snatch something right out from under them. The hook is whether the party decides to go after her or not. Quest hook 2 for Andrea is Stealing Hearts. Andrea has figured out a way to steal life force from people who hear her performance. Someone will hire the party to go after Andrea. we can see that Andrea Neidhart would most certainly fall under the category of foe for the party, and as tempted as I am to move right over to a Gross Live main, the very next page, I'm going to resist the hard temptation and flip several pages over to Maris Stonejaw. He is another performer, this one using an instrument and song. He grew up on the road, surrounded by performers, and eventually went off on his own. Kind of makes me wonder if his path ever crossed with Andrea's, though. And he, of course, likes to live off the land. He is such a renowned performer that he has, or had, a standing invitation to retire and live at one of the most famous taverns in the biggest cities of the realm. He is, however, kind of unaware that the tavern's owner passed away. And this is what I'm talking about in regards to a detailed backstory. How easy would it be to actually use this guy as a pre-built player character? And we've not even gotten to his stat block yet. He is rumored to have Fae ancestors. He actually doesn't, but he does nothing to still those rumors. And in fact, he'll often play up that supposed connection to the Fae if he feels it'll get him more money or another gig. He holds no magic ability, but there are many that claim his music does have magical capabilities to bring two people together in love. Maris delights in knowing that his music has the ability to bring love unto the world. His background is performer, and he has a personality trait of, I think there's something spiritual to music, so I've made it my passion in life. His ideal is that music can break through barriers even when nothing else can. His bond is also pretty simple. He wants to travel the world and play music and make people happy until he can't do that anymore. And one thing that would make me happy would be if you could hit that like button. It really helps me to spread these videos out to more folks, and I kindly thank you for that. Maris Stonejaw's flaw is that he says what he feels, and he's not good at keeping secrets. Maris Stonejaw is a human of and I really just cannot talk today. He is a human of neutral good alignment. He has an armor class of 16, 7d8 plus 14 hit points, has a strength of 12, a dexterity of 15, constitution is 14, intelligence is 10, wisdom is 11, and charisma is 14. He has a challenge rating of 1, and he has 3 skills: acrobatics, insight, and performance. Maris is well-traveled, which gives him advantage on intelligence and wisdom checks when discussing travel or giving directions. He uses a dagger and a longbow when he has to fight, which might be rare given his opinion that music can bring things together. His first quest hook is, I usually walk alone. In this, Maris runs across the party and wants to travel with them for a bit. He reveals that something proposed to him and he turned it down, only to discover that it was a fiend that is now trying to haunt him. His second quest hook is, I walk the line. I'll tell you my observance about this in a second. Maris is performing one night and someone attempts to kill him. Turns out a filthy rich nobleman tried to have Maris killed because one of his songs threw the nobleman's mistress into someone else's arms, and that rich nobleman wants Maris dead. Now, my observance here, at first quest hook, I usually walk the line. There's an old song by Marty Robbins, and he was kind of made famous again by Breaking Bad. Marty Robbins, not the song. But he did a song called I Walk Alone, in which the singer sings a song to someone he once loved, but she passed away, and he vows to not get involved with another woman until he dies and can be with her again. In the second quest hook, I Walk the Line, a song of the same name by Johnny Cash, it sings a tale of a man who could easily fall into darkness, but doesn't because he has someone who loves him. And I can't help but wonder if the creators purposely put those references in this. Want another NPC? Seriously, I could show this book off all day. How about one more? A few pages further on is Toria Quickstep. Toria is a larger-than-life mercenary, and it is hard to tell if she is simply the luckiest or most skilled mercenary. She is happy to tell anyone who will listen of her exploits, and her tales are often so grand that a round of drinks is purchased for her, which really kind of causes her to go into a new tale that's usually even more grand. She is full of stories, always wanting to be the center of attention, and even those that were with her during an adventure will see their role in a new light once she begins to tell the tale. Those close to her would say she only has a happy exterior, knowing that she is, inside, a very sad person. She truly believes that she is happy, but that could also be a side effect of her retelling stories to a point where she's convinced herself of an alternate, happier version of her sorrow. Her background is vagabond, and she has a personality trait of, I am willing to tell a story more quickly than I am willing to take a job. Her ideal is the best job is one that results in a story that is worth sharing. Her bond is telling stories as often as she can in hopes that one day the telling of said stories would truly make her happy. Her flaw is that she refuses to believe that she is sad when her stories are capable of creating so much joy. Toria is a halfling of chaotic neutral alignment with an armor class of 15 and 13d6 plus 13 hit points. She has a strength of 8, a dexterity of 19, constitution is 13, intelligence is 14, wisdom is 10, and her charisma is 11. She has a challenge rating of 3 and has 3 skills, acrobatics, perception, and stealth. She is lucky. When she rolls a 1 for an attack, ability check, or saving throw, she can re-roll the die. She uses short swords when she needs to attack, and at least one of them can also cause poison damage. As a bonus action, Toria has cunning action. She takes the dash, disengage, or hide action. Her first quest hook is A Tale of Fang and Claw. Toria has never killed a dragon, and hires the party to go with her to find a dragon to slay. During a camp one evening, she starts to tell a story by the campfire and begins to question if she really wants to kill a dragon. You know, there's a book from the 1930s called Fang and Claw. I wonder. Her second quest hook is A Cautionary Tale. Toria returns from a job, unwilling to tell of that story. Simply put, she cannot remember what happened, and her original employer hires the party to find out what initially happened. It turns out her memories have been locked away by magic originating in the astral plane. As tempted as I am to reveal more of the NPCs in this, I don't want to get into too much trouble from Grimm Press. They really have pushed out a high quality product here, and as I mentioned earlier, you can pick this up on DriveThruRPG.com. I'll leave a link to it below in the description, and at the time of this recording, this book is listed at $9.99. Normally it's $14.99, so be sure to grab it before the discount ends. The artwork inside is amazing, and there's 100 NPCs listed and is very, very much worth the price. Grimm Press has been putting content out on DriveThruRPG for a good while, and they've got an excellent selection to choose from. Now, weren't you going to remind me of something? What was it? Oh yeah, the physical print. So a little while ago, someone asked me how I did the physical prints of the PDFs that I get, and I detailed all of that out in this video, so be sure to check it out. Friends and foes for the party can always be a driving force to move the story forward. This book does not disappoint, and I cannot recommend it enough. Is this something you plan to check out? Let me know in the comments below, and until next our paths cross, may you not walk alone.